Good day, guys. Everything known as Sun here. I want to take a look at this Zero Hedge article, and this is about World War III. Real imminent threat. The next world war will be initiated by first strike EMP weapon, and this is an EMP weapon is electromagnetic pulse. It would, if exploded, I forget what it is, 10 kilometers above the U.S. or whatever it is, it would knock the U.S. back to the Dark Ages, and probably Canada as well, because our electrical grids are tied together somewhat. And what it does is it basically overwhelms any electronics, and it blows electronics, just like if you leave your electronics plugged in during a thunderstorm, and and it's not on a protected UPS or surge protector, it has a possibility of getting blown. Just too much power goes through it all at once. There's a burst of energy, and it blows all the circuits. And that's what an EMP would do if it was blown up, 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers or whatever it is above the continental United States, Canada, whatever. And there's a certain radius where it's effective. But even if you're not in that radius, say it's over the U.S., but even if you're in Canada, if all the power grids go down and start drawing power from all the other grids, the way that they happen is they're interconnected. So if one goes down, it starts trying to draw power from the next one, and it starts there's a cascade of events that starts pulling other power grids down. So even though you're not directly in the radius of an EMP blast, it will affect you because all the power grids will start going down, and then obviously you have all sorts of supply routes and stuff. Cars and trucks will not start because of all the electronics are blown in them, and then all of a sudden you have you can't ship groceries to the grocery store, and so yeah, it would affect the whole continent effectively. So it really is an end of the world type disaster, a catastrophic disaster if there ever was one. And this is one about North Korea, which has suitcase nukes apparently, or the ability to launch a weapon like this. Certainly Iran knows the weakness of the North America to EMPs and the strategic option that it is to them. There have been tremendous amount of technological interchange between North Korea and Russians and Chinese. North Korea has also been working for years in the development of its nuclear arsenal, especially in partnership with Pakistan and Iran. In a press conference at the Pentagon on October 24, 2014, reporters were briefed by General Curtis Scaparrotti, the U.S. commander in Korea, U.S. military commander in Korea, South Korea, I guess it would be. This is what the general had to say. I believe the North Koreans have the capability to have miniaturized nuclear device at this point, and they have technology to potentially actually deliver what they say they have. Admiral William Gortney, commander of U.S. NORTHCOM, was in front of the Senate committee in 2016, briefing them on potential North Korean threat. The admiral stated it was prudent to assume Pyongyang had the ability to miniaturize a nuclear warhead. Finally, the most compelling proponent of the danger posed by North Korea, Dr. Peter V. Pry, the foremost expert on EMP threats by established and rogue nations, has long upheld that Iran and North Korea hold an EMP first strike essential to their current military doctrines. So they know they can't beat the U.S. military in just a one-on-one war. So if they think the U.S., as an example, or NATO, or whomever is going to strike, they have a first strike policy where they're going to get those powers first by way of an EMP blast, and that is probably certainly their best bet to beat other world powers. This year, North Koreans have ramped up their missile tests exponentially, building off their R&D for the past 5 years, and it goes through the missiles and the satellites that were launched. After previous launch attempts by Pyongyang failed, this one seems to have gone much better. U.S. official noted North Korea's sub-launch capability has gone from a joke to something very serious. The U.S. is watching very closely. North Korea successfully launched the missile from the submarine, and I just want to skip down to the bottom here where it kind of sums it up. The next war will be initiated by a first strike utilizing an EMP weapon. There is no timetable. The threat is real. This is an when, not if kind of scenario. The threat is real and it is imminent. It is a matter of time before it is carried out. Do you have something more tangible? Here it is. Or do you want something more tangible? Here it is. Now would be a good time to construct the necessary Faraday cages for your sensitive electronic equipment you wish to have after a war commences. You'll also need emergency food, water, and a stockpile of materials to defend it, hopefully in a remote location. This is why when preparing for any disaster, you need to be aware that electricity is very likely going to be down. Electronics may not work, cell phones, whatever else you have. So you need alternative sources of, say for water. If you have a well with an old-fashioned hand pump on it, that would serve you well in this sort of situation. And so you need to hedge your bets and have various methods to get fresh water, for example, which is the most important thing to have. You'll also need emergency food, water, medicine, and a stockpile of materials to defend it, hopefully in a remote location, he says. Naysayers and politicians have one thing in common: denial of the reality of a situation. The difference is that the first group is usually unprepared when it happens, and they are ignorant of the situation. The politicians and leaders are the exact opposite. They deny the reality and obfuscate their complete knowledge of their reality. They are completely prepared for what will unfold. And those politicians and leaders are prepped and defended on your dime. So they're on taxpayer dime. They have bunkers and such that they need to. They will have access to effectively. Basically, to command and control, to keep law and order, to continue to rule the country based on the taxpayers. But often the taxpayers have no idea what's happening and don't realize it because the leaders haven't really understood the threat and done something about it. So, is that going to start the next, World War III? There is a World War III biblically, and we don't know if EMPs are ever going to be used. But it's certainly a threat, and it's apparently, according to this article, imminent. And North Korea and Iran, for sure, I don't think there's any doubt that they would have the technology. Whether they will actually use it, obviously no one knows, but we will see. So anyway, so I leave it there. I'll put the article in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.